playoffs one now. They're up to 18 games. Absolutely crazy stuff. So they've definitely a lot of homework for Loud to read, but are ready for the games for sure. And Sen City's here behind them. The Loud fans already get into that volume 11 as well as we start off here on Sunset for the grand finals. A lot of tiles work from Sen just to make sure that mid area is controlled from Loud. And it feels like Loud's being real passive here. They're ready to go for a first round retake with whatever Sentinels hits.
Not only on that mid take, there was a lot of pressure on both sides from the initiator, getting information on the extremities. And now, as you mentioned, playing the retake style for Loud. There's still a first contact from Tui's, throwing up paranoia, keeping players at bay from Sentinels. Finally a first contact, but the heavy damage goes on to John Cutie. Sentinels yet still want to move forward in this pistol, and Loud decide to pull back. More smoke happening on the left side lane, clearing out towards the left side. That should probably get QCK right now. As the one-way smoke comes up, Sentinels tries to execute in and actually does hit QCK towards the back of the site. There's the first blood. Drop by the Sentinels. A second as well by second. And Loud is falling down on this pistol with the spike down on the east side for Sen.
Fantastic job at not allowing Loud to get into a positioning, as we kind of saw on Ascent. They can't get this utility, these flashes in order, that Sova dart in place, and Sentinels bite back before the retake even really happens there. Les now a few final kills on the exit to hopefully collect some money for the squad in a different buy next round. But we'll see, a lot of teams have been full classic saving out on that second round, favoring a bit of utility. And we'll see if Loud decides to do that. Sentinels pick up the first round. When they start off with a little bit of across the map, they were looking mid first, then they were moving over to the side of A, but they took it slow. Again, something different we're seeing with John Cutie and Sentinels, that they'll work the map a bit before actually making that commitment.
And with Loud, it seems they were heavily pressured in that retake style they wanted to get. Sentinels wanted to continue to fight forward after that spike plan. Now putting themselves for Loud on defense on a stack towards the B side, setting up for potentially a trap play, but maybe getting information first. You already see out in the open, Sadak is just waiting for a contact for a push. Anybody towards the B main side.
You even see Kawanzine trying to play a little tricky hide spot in the market major. He's just waiting for that wall to go up and catch somebody off guard. Again, the slow play from Sentinels, they're pretty much repeating first round strat, right? We see that Zekin and John Cutie are working tiles. This time they proceed into mid, but that door is going to be shut on them right quick. Looks like they could go all the way through here. This is going to be trouble for Loud to regain any positioning.
Loud's been good at it so far, continuing the good reads, always being active around the map on their defensive side. Back towards the spawn, they hear Sentinels stopping towards the A side again. There is some sort of hope here if Tui's. There you go, gets that contact onto Tens, slowing the pace of the attack. Instantly traded out by John Cutie though, as the plant goes down for A main. Triple push forward, but the crossfire is just too good for Sentinels. They do a little bit of damage here for Loud, and you know what? I'm not going to discount this player. QCK finally pushed forward by second, and Sentinels get the second round.
All right, two patient rounds from Sentinels. They pretty much walked themselves into a situation where they're fighting Loud. The first one ended up at A on pistol. That second one, they were able to find their fight as they push behind enemy lines in mid, which also works out for Sen because now they have a bit of map info of how Loud will play those lower buy rounds, whether or not they were covering mid a lot. Maybe they can read a bit into it once they see it again. All of that information helps. So now, what can Loud do? They tried the B stack. That default take on A for first round did not work, but they're going to heavy stack towards A here as we get a bigger default from Sentinels. And I'm interested to see if Loud does a bit of the extremity pushing here. They need each other to get back for this initiator utility on the retake, so losing somebody on a peak would be detrimental to Loud. They're going to stay back and play a very passive game.
Except for that player.
Except for that.
Tui's gets dropped instantly. Sentinels once again in a power play. John Cutie still lurking around towards this B side, trying to see if he can hear rotate out of market. But for Sentinels, it's still an information game. For Loud, it's the aggression. We talked about the extremities, but this time it's towards the B lane. There's the contact on a few. Finally gets traded out. And we're even up on a 3-3 with Zekin heavily damaged. And that lurk, though, for John Cutie, it's now open. It's up to Sentinels to try to figure a way back towards the B side to meet up against the IGL.
Going the long way around. wouldn't be able to clear mid and do not know what breadcrumbs are left there from the Cowanzine push.
Getting hurt.
Yeah, they're right. QCK is able to catch this audio and we'll take a shot.
An easy one. Crosshair placement. Zekin low on HP. Actually dodges away from the flash and made it through. Getting a plant right now for Sentinels would be pretty decent for this bonus round that they have. John Cutie watching Zekin's back as the plant comes down. Snakebite just dropping down inches away at Zekin's feet. And allows both players now to group together towards the back of the site. They see the recon darts or rotate a flank from Sadak towards the B main. QCK, no more flashes, has to move together. They have to play the fundamentals now for Loud. To blaze wall first, but another snakebite, forcing John Cutie out of position. A 1-for-1. Solo second. A headshot on the first, so gets denied right away by Les. A nice trade for Loud. They convert their gun round, but Sentinels, they are definitely happy with that result.
Loud securing that one. Les with the Viper's bite on to Zekin, actually paying off in dividends as they follow up on it. But you're right, so much damage done from Sentinels. Loud are going to have a bit of trouble rebuying into this. Already see some stingers on the board as we rewatch this play again. Good teamwork, good trade. Fundamentals on that one. Keep pressing W until you can get your teammate anchored on that play. So a good post plant from Loud. We see that successful. Can they keep it up? Phoenix ultimate's up. They may try to go for an A push here as they already have that side quite stacked. And the only one that's going to be seen is Tui's.
Loud having to play once again a gamble stack, this time towards B because of that bonus run that Sentinels had.
Yep.
The economy is very low. The strongest weapon was the one that was maintained by Les on that previous round, which is a Vandal. And the rest are just looking for that trap play. It's up to Loud once again to do a lot more rotations around the side, have better reads, but thankfully they have a scan agent and Sadat, who's currently joining towards the B main. Spots nothing. This is good for Sentinels to work the map.
What a choice. John Cutie again calling it shots to the left side of the map here. Obviously a retake for Loud, but this should be Sentinels planting, pushing forward, and actually gaining some position, so Loud cannot do anything really here on the retake. The way Sentinels have been approaching each of their games, it seems like they have two variations they can use, whether it is 10s on the Omen, where they play a game that's centered around this crowding up, getting into the site together and just swarming. Whoa!
Saw the top of the head of Sadak and falls. At least for Loud, they have this running back with QCK, hoping that Sadak was still alive to help with the recon dart, but it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Loud to retake the site. John Cutie already setting up the camera, so that's going to be the first contact. The rest of the team holding back towards B main, looking to just spam. If Loud make it through the first line of contact. John Cutie, flash, beautiful by Celsius. It allows for him to get the kill onto Les. But there's QCK, upgrading weapon, mosh pin onto the ground, delays coming out from Sentinels. That clock is ticking down here. Pain shells on top of that. Nice shot though from QCK as they're leading forward. Boombot to get more scans. Saucy dropping two, and a beautiful hole for Sentinels in the end.
Not even worrying about the smokes that could come through. They have all the utility and weaponry to fire back onto Loud, and that low buy hurts. All the damage Sen did on the bonus round hurts, and they pick up a third round now. And that was the one variation of the hit where they can follow Zekin in. They can make it work on a map like Sunset. And then Kaplan can switch up the team and you can get a bind out of this squad that has a Yoru for 10s where they're pushing everywhere. They know how to flex and flow between playstyles so well when they get on different agents. Sentinels is just showing different this year, but we got a whole series to go through and Loud has showed us just as much this season. Coming into round 5, this Tiles push is Loud's again, but Tens answers.
2 right away. But Tui's did get a timing. He made it through. That's going to catch John Cutie. That's allowing to even up the tally for the mid-rounding to start a little bit earlier. Less even once more. No pun intended. As we have a fight now towards the A main side, instantly leaving Saucy alone.
Oh. And they may even Taster's Choice this. And by that, I mean, who's going to kill Saucy? Do you get an ult on Sadak? Do you get an ult on Les? Is it different? Do you let him get it down and get the ults that way? Loud's going to be able to circulate these ults in the next few rounds. Saucy gets the plant, and beautiful that he can work off of it with Wingman here. Thrash is available. If this goes down, Saucy may go all out.
That would be such a gamble, but look at him.
It would be.
He's going to hear all of these rotate, so he's trying to get an angle. He's trying to get a surprise attack. Here's that first jump spot. Here's 2 crossing over. The third one already made it through. So Saucy now has a timing. Behind the 3 players allowed, rotating across. There's a snake bite towards main. Now it's being watched. There's another 1-2, and he will have all the kit left now on his Gecko kit. The launch pad going down, forced to halfway, out of position now. Les falls away. There's that thrash coming out too from the front of the pillar, and Les even has to pull back towards the market. It does not hit him though, but that clock is ticking down. Saucy's getting better across. Runs away for the time, gets it done, and Saucy wins a 3-on-1 against Loud.
Incredible play from Saucy. You can look at any player on this team and find that type of play coming out of Sentinels here. Absolutely routing Loud. Listen to that crowd. The Saucy call-outs come out as his plays go down. What a pivotal kill, 2 for 10s for Sentinels. To understand the tiles push has been such a priority for Loud. They instantly attack back, snap back at Loud's push when QCK comes around the corner. And yeah, they're feeling that. What a play from Saucy. Absolutely throwing Loud's timing off by the wingman plant and push into market. Very heady play. We're in round 6 now. A mid play from Loud, thinking that Sentinels might go for this encroachment again.
They have a lot that it could work behind this wall that it just put up. There goes that curveball out for QCK, but Dewey still fell first. Sentinels are just anchoring around. They have support from all angles, controlling the middle. Not giving a chance here for Loud to really flow through a mid flood. With that hack thrown here by John Cutie, IGL, it gives enough information that A site is open. It's weaker, where Sadak is currently only holding with the Sheriff. And even Sentinels, they're giving him that respect, moving all the way together, forming up forwards rather, and really just working their protocols for the later rounds.
Just the smoke giving them pawn shop control. They know Sadak's right there. And another quick wingman plant, giving Sentinels so much safety, never having to push into the site.
1 enemy remaining.
Somehow Sadak had an opener, had an opportunity to drop John Cutie, but it's an IGL battle won by Sentinels.
Yeah.
Unless, again, potentially in a situation, yeah, you already see him back it up. He's gonna save this one. Money wasn't too great here for Loud, and his half buy that they had. Trap play was read by Sentinels.
Exactly. Loud are doing everything they can to get under the skin of Sentinels, find that first kill so they might be able to grab Zeus's Vandal or whatever he would have in the round and then move it around again, right? See what Les can get, see what can happen. Sentinels is avoiding it, though. They're understanding and respecting the fact that Loud can still do a lot of damage on these low buy rounds. And you're not seeing any wide swings that don't have an anchor of a Sentinel member on it. Very controlled play here by Sen, understanding their wing condition and holding it close to the chest. 4 ultimates for Loud. Very big swing point in the game. We get another timeout right away. Oh my gosh.
Should be the first one here after all.
Okay.
Yeah. So now just trying to figure out what they can do with this, probably. As we had an inkling that a timeout should have come out on that previous round.
Right.
So that lower buy that we had from Loud is just for him to decide, okay, we got 4 ults to work with this time around. But that doesn't take away any of the point that you mentioned so far, Riv, that this game means a lot for Sentinels. You know, they made it now to this grand final stage. It's been a very long time since they made it to a regional grand final.
So Loud calls the timeout. This has been uncharacteristic in the fact that it doesn't seem like Loud is, one, getting their pushes into the map to affect Sentinels in a way where Sentinels has to worry. They have to restructure the play. It seems like Sentinels finds what Loud is doing and moves on. They don't really have to change too much. The second one is we usually see Loud have incredible audibles they call in the mid to late round that put them in the position to then stop another take from their opponent. And it seems like they're failing on both right now. Sentinels is able to run through this. And here's why it becomes a big swing round now. 3-round loss in a row, you're gonna get 2,900 into the pockets of Loud. That's basically on no credits as they have to spend in again. They need to use these ultimates to get some rounds back now, or it's gonna start swinging very heavily in favor of Sen. Already they swing heavily over towards the right side to pressure main. Pop flash going right into back alley.
And it definitely looks like for Loud side, they want to try to use that right away. There's the ping on the first one already. The IGL is backing up, trying to get the 100 Fury out, and there it is. It does get a ping on a few. And with flashes coming across, it does get contact for pings, but Zekin still opens up. Sentinels were working towards the mid side after a trap play attempted by Loud with these ults. Now Les is going to be in heavy trouble towards the market. He's there alone, and he's just trying to anchor up at least one portion of this B site towards the map, while the rest are pushing double towards A-Long. Zelsis is currently waiting. He lost his teammate in the process, but he gets the dink and the kill onto Tui's. The flash turns away from it and does not connect on the second one. Krawadzine walks out of that fight, limping away, but still has that support from Sadak. 3-on-3 now in the mid round.
Finding fights around the map. Loud trying to pick apart at Sentinels team before they hit these sites. Finally, we just talked about it. They couldn't find any ground before. It'd always be quickly traded back. Now the 3v3 stands.
Les gets traded out.
Yep.
In these moments during this kickoff, he's been so good in these anchored positions to drop 2 and 3. Has been a superstar player, but now Sentinels coming out into this game. The basics, the fundamentals are looking very good. They get a plant,
my
and
gosh,
already a
again?
flash coming out, looking around, a TP. Moving forward, as looks like Tenz is looking for a fight. He gets punished right away by Sadak as the Rolling Thunder comes out. Now even the Pinks comes out. Beautiful combination of utility from Loud as they drop Zassi and come in for the defuse.
And we talked about how big this round was. Loud stays off going into economy hell right now. That was such a big round. Sentinels would have been running away with a few more. And this first half would have not looked good. Now we have Loud coming back up here. Still going to be a buy coming in from Sen, it seems. Yeah, they should be able to get that low armor in. See this again, too. The retake, it had to happen. For Loud to use the Rolling Thunder, everything they had, it was according to the play. This had to be secured. Oh, Saucy, not get out of that one. And you see, they're still vibing. Loud knows this game isn't out of hand. It's not crazy. The few rounds down means nothing to Sadak and Loud. Still very much in it, and let's see how they play that.
Always unfazed, Loud.
The judges there for Sadak, so you know they're starting to get a little ratty on these. We'll see how that gets used. And these ultimates as well. QCKs can still go in. A quick retake, and Les just pushes them out with the Viper's Pit. We have yet to see how Loud actually fight back with those.
You see Loud, though, just jiggling across, the contacts being those controllers. Less in the back of the site. Tui's on the A site. It looks like Sentinels want to activate right away. They'll come in out from Zelsis. Second, satchel across. Contact on players from Loud in the back of Boba. As the plant comes in for Sentinels, it's time for them to play the pulse plant once again. But this time around, nobody holding yet towards the back of the B main. It's a paranoid to push through, and you hear that run it back. It should come across. The save comes out from Les as it allows QCK to stay alive. A whole roster of Loud against 3 left of Sentinels. Paranoia being thrown on defense. There's that judge. More utility flooding towards the front. But Zelsis and Tenz are holding back their ground for now. Beautiful flash out from QCK, though. As now the tap on the spike, trying to draw out the opponents. Beautifully done by Loud. They come in for the defuse, and you saw some hope there from Zelsis and Tenz, and Loud instantly. They held back for a split second, forced Sentinels out, and finally played the fundamentals and won the round.
That's the Loud train I think we've been looking for. It took a little bit to stoke the fire, but man, coming down the tracks, you do not want to be in the way of Loud when they feel like the retake is going 100%. The way they came through Boba here, just fearless, as it were, as Sadak says. Loud just run right into B main. The last time we saw that fight, Sentinels was just lacing Loud as they tried to come into B main. They didn't even make it. Loud gained so much ground there, completely taking Sentinels by surprise. We set up for Sen in a bit of the same formation, but less movement. They're not taking as much of market. The wall that they just dealt with there in B main usually can mean someone pushes up. So you have to worry. Loud is giving Sen a lot of things to worry about here. And with Dizzy down, they're going to be able to have a little main control, but not in sight yet.
Sentinel's just trying to play into Loud's style.
Yeah.
Where when they get pressure on one side, they usually push the extremity on the other. So you already see Tenz holding back towards the A main side, all the way from spawn, trying to catch a forward push. But nobody's really moving here from Loud. They held things back towards the B side. They haven't really fully rotated. And for them, it's just very much still comfortable of playing that retake style towards this A side. For Sentinels, they regrouped after that, after deniability that you saw there from Les's utility with his teammates. Sen is looking to pivot back.
Toying with the door, just hoping Loud will have to keep covering Market there as they start to make their way. Zelsa's knife came up just a bit ago as they entered the A main area, but this is a contact play. They want to see how Loud reacts to this.
And finally, after the first smoke comes out on the defense, the other one goes out towards the spawn on the attack. Now you're not allowing here at 2E's to get the high stack and a spray.
There they go.
With his Vandal, which allows here a wingman to get a very late plant towards A.
How far do they push forward? Little hide here from second right under the trash can. John QD is going to be flanking far, but it's watched by Sadak. What's the timing here? Loud comes through spawn.
Threw a whole flash towards the air just to try to slow it down for a bit. They're just trying to take down Sadak first to push towards that spawn. It works out. Another one fell within the site for Loud. But Loud have regained control of that B site. The tap to flush out Sentinels once again. Double back towards the default box as Les lines up 2 kills somehow. And the spray comes back here through the cages, but it's going to be difficult right now. Saucy does get the pick. The last one still sticks to the fuse. Woo! Not planned for them to be able to play that push forward. They really had to walk in the site, and Loud was always ready for that.
Pretty wild damage from Sentinels, though, coming out with some pistols on that round. They drop all of Loud. Loud and the fans happy, though, to pick up another round. Like we said, even looking at 5-1, we saw smiles on Loud's face during the timeout. It's still an any game, and we saw Loud use the ultimates to make that come true. 4-5 now, 3 quick defuses on the post plant here that have brought Loud back into this, and we are going to get a Sentinels timeout now as they get a talk from Kaplan, figure out what Loud is doing differently here to get themselves back in the match. Really nicely done. They didn't have an answer for the beginning, right? We said Loud was kind of missing the early game control. We saw Kalanzine and QCK trying to work tiles in mid. They lose a few members, and that trade did not benefit Loud, especially the way Sen was taking the site. What I think we did get, though, is Loud in those mid-round calls back, having the right positioning, waiting for each other, that patience where we know Loud to be looking for the flank while the spike is ticking, and you're like, is there enough time? Well, it's enough time. They know, they've been there. We're getting that back from Loud, and that's why we're close to tied now. Sentinels will discuss how to get back in. 3 alts, Thrash to be used by Saucy, 11-4. He's had some fantastic games, even though he lost the win on Ascent on the Sova, where he's like 20-5 or something at half. The Odin Master over there. Yeah, he's been showing up as well for Sentinels this season. So we get back in.
Also decided not to play the Ascent in this grand finals.
They didn't. That blew the fact that we had Icebox in here and Sen have been kind of kicking that out of the pool was very interesting. I cannot wait. But on Sunset until it does just that.
Oh, yeah.
Round 10.
Monster on the loose.
Uh-oh. Thrash right off the rip. How does Loud respond to instant aggression?
Tried to get a camera pivot towards the mid, and Zelsis already fell. Now just spraying across here, and he gets a lucky kill onto a second when that second map falls. They still get a plant now. Hunter's Fury coming out from the defense. A ping does get the hit onto John Cutie from QCK. As here's a shot from behind, alert once again. Saucy gets it done. Tens under heavy pressure, alone towards the back of the site. Thrash being picked up, the TP away from one, sees the second one, and it does get the hit here. That's going to delay even more. Sadak is detained. 2E's had to TP away, and now as they finally regroup, they don't have too much utility but these smokes. Tens is already pushing towards that spike. A beautiful Dizzy allowing Tens to get that pick. Up to Sadak alone. A nice shot there from Tens once again, leading out for the kill, and Sentinels finally get another point.
He threw that through the window, right?
Yep.
Oh, we hardly ever get to see the windows used. Awesome stuff from Market. Honestly, little things like that you hardly see in your games are the ones that can catch you off guard in a millisecond. Oh my gosh. You're like, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a window. Vents that. Tens vents Sadak. And that's going to be the end. 6-4. The timeout pays off for Sentinels here. Big time after 3 post-plant rounds. Successful in a row for Loud.
Seems as though the game plan got foiled, but thankfully you still have players that could really think on their toes, though, with how Tens and Sassy played that one, because he lost a lot of players in the process trying to play this or trying to play a contact towards the A site. It gets dropped. The lure buy from Loud, you saw the Bucky, a TP towards the back. At least Sadak is there for the support. Tui still holding towards the back of the A side, and that hat's going to help a lot. Neural Theft out. It's a forward push here from Les outside the B site, while the rest are pinged out all around the A site. But for Sentinels, it's a cut noise. Just want to reset for a bit here with a minute left on the clock.
I like the movement. Les said, all right, we're getting pinged. I'm going to get out here and kill the trap at B main, just to make John Cutie think a little bit more. So John always watching the flank, though. They have to watch for Les. Could be a factor in this round that just closes it out.
Oh, had the angles the whole time, and now he gets all the information. Here comes the bombardment, the Mordor towards the back of the site. Contacts onto Paladin, while the rest of the Sentinels were there just to get the drive-by. Firing squad leaving Les alone. Yeah, he broke one trip on the B site, but couldn't get this one on the A site, so his cover is blown. Mosh pit to keep him away, but that's a nice shot off the Sasi.
And now no one else peeks.
Versus one, holding a tight angle as Zetkin goes for the crab walk, though. And he'll get the pick.
7-4 now.
Last round.
Sentinels, great control here. Kind of activating on Loud so quick. It almost looked like Loud fell asleep at the wheel for a second. That's just the timing wasn't there. Sentinels get a Thanos timing walking into elbow here. Soxy drops QCK, no flash. And this, three's a crowd.
That was so unlucky there for Loud because they were anticipating that hit from Sentinels. You saw who was that? I think it was Kawadzine or so that looking towards the air with a frenzy getting ready to hit that disc, but he hit both of his teammates, even all three before. But let's hold that thought. Showstopper already outside of the gates and blow Sadak to bits. Once again, numbers advantage for Sentinels, allowing for them to work the map, working back towards his B side.
And right there, I hope I have enough time to say this, never mind.
Not at all. Paranoid going back and forth just to try to delay towards the market, but still allowing Sentinels to gain space. And a plant attempt. As we went for attack first, they lost players towards the market side. Sasi's still alive at that spot, though. You try to hold it back. Plant finally successful for the Sentinels. Smoke to help Sasi a little bit towards the market. Loud just winning here for that flank coming out from QCK. It's slow, but it's coming as a Dizzy comes up just to try to delay towards the back of the site even more. Finally, that contact, as you mentioned, Zekin sees him. Flash is coming out. There's that execution now for Sentinels. Back and forth, but still the advantage for the attack side. As they know, it was that flanker. QCK with no utility after he uses his wall. Contact out to Sasi, allowing here Zekin just to wait for the tap. Pain shells to keep him at bay. That will definitely end the half right now, especially with that kill coming out from Sasi as Sentinels to close out the half with a 4-point lead.
Zekin used an ult there at the beginning of the round. The pressure's created. It's been such a different in that sense of ultimates being used right off the rip. All of Sadok's Hunters, the Hunter's Furies came at the beginning of the round, came to try and discombobulate what Sentinels was doing, and they only had to slightly respect it because they can dodge it. Zekin comes in, you have to respect it. The fundamental differences in the power that these comps can hit with is huge, and we'll see that as Loud comes onto the attack side now. It takes so much more to orchestrate this composition into a site.
You're definitely seeing a lot from all of these players right now and from the IGLs too, but let's toss it back to Ender, where he has something for us by the telestrator.
Saucy finishes the half with a whopping 15 kills and only 5 deaths, and he is dominant in the clutch. Let's check out this round where he absolutely blows me away. It starts out Sentinels with an advantage, but Loud very quickly are able to bounce back with a few critical kills. Loud, we know, they don't play with fierce. They step forward in mid, in main to take these fights, and even poor Tens trying to move over into main get shut down. So, where do we find ourselves? Saucy is stuck in a 1v3 situation, but those players are fairly spread out from Lev. So they're going to group up, and that gives Saucy the B site for free. He can walk in here, and notice he's got full utility down there at the bottom of the screen, including Thrash. That'll be big. But first, it's Wingman up to the plate. He's going to use that ability to be able to take more space than you'd normally expect in this position. The only thing, one of the things that only Gecko can do. So, Saucy moves into market, and Loud are still taking things slow. They're going to group up together, but if they had split into mid right here, Saucy would have been able to find a pick. But now, Saucy hears 3 players and turns his attention. He has a very important decision to make. Does does he try to pick off the final straggler here and get that one that would be virtually untradeable, swing on that guy there, and then go for the play, or does he wait? He chooses to wait, which is a lower chance that he gets a kill, but a higher chance he can win the clutch. He moves on in here and is able to get both these kills here with a sick transfer on that one. It's money. The utility afterwards is perfect, and then going into Thrash, it makes the round nigh unwinnable. Lefts could not stick through that plant, and the Thrash means that he could not actually get on Spike in time. Let's get the second half underway. Back to our casters.
Sick flip.
Sick flip, yeah, well done, Ender. Great explanation here on how good these players are. It's not only about that meta, the battle of the IGLs, the big brains from the coaching staff. It's also just a heads-up play from all these players that has been looking so good in this first half. And speaking of information to react right away, a knife went out towards the A side, pinging a few here, thrown by Zelsis, and Sentinels knows this hit's coming towards the A side, and they're ready for this signature retake playstyle on the A side. Loud still deciding to work towards A though, so they might have something back in return.
Right there.
What are we working with? There are some ghosts, so a little bit of a drop on util there. Classics will be able to come in full utility-wise. And the early delay. Early fakes with a bit of utility here. I wonder if that's going to allow Sen in a bit more, but this is Loud are hunkered down here. This is going to be hard to get them out.
Paranoia and Dizzy, that's going to hit QCK, runs inside the smoke. The boom bot even spots him and blows him away.
Smokes
a
are
flash
good.
towards the back. Coward seems fully blinded, but it's okay to stay behind the smoke. A tap onto the spike, a fault line coming out, a spray through the smoke, a spray and praying for Loud to hopefully get this pistol on their side.
They got to
and
start
it's
it
not
now.
even halfway. The wingman already got blocked. But there's no time left. There's no time left. Oh! Comes in for the right clicks. What? This is going to be the type of place that we're going to see in a post-match plays between Loud and Sentinels. We're going to be on the edge of our
What do they
seats.
call that? Cinema? No, I'm just kidding. That was the Tuesday matinee. That was absolute chaos. Oh my gosh. That's the I have one final choice moment situations. Everybody is doing the final thing. They know they're going to go down, and that one was to jump through the smoke and finally kill the diffuser, even though it probably wouldn't have been half. That was just the kind of situation. The pressure Loud puts on the first attack round of their pistol here, second half. A big push here from Sentinels, though. This is going to be another war.
Continuing with the double flash combination from the initiators, but QCK is just ready for that. So not only does he stops the push from Sentinels, but that's building up his ultimate here for the later rounds, even trying to clear for more, grabbing the orb behind the Owl drone. Wouldn't be surprised if they just give him a plan or if he just chases the kill. But you're seeing like Sentinels are trying to rework the map somewhere. Go head to head. Omen versus Omen. Tui's gets the upper hand of Tens. They actually did see QCK trying to hunt for more kills there. He got instantly denied by Saucy.
Camera will let them know they can end at A on this one. In Loud, I feel like needed to start setting the pace as they got onto this attack side. Sentinels, as they were on attack, like I said, what didn't care when the Hunter's Fury came out from Loud. They were able to work around it, absorb Loud utility at market, and hit A, or the other way around, A to B. Here, Loud cannot let Sentinels set up a defensive spot. Loud needs to be in their face all the time. And again, with this composition Loud has, that has to be everybody behind QCK, right? QCK is not blast packing in. He's not dashing in.
Last player standing.
They have to go in together, and right now, they're picking these rounds up together.
Yeah. I mean, as much as Sentinels has utility to retake these sites, for a Loud side, they have as much Sol, right? They have that fault line to come out. They have the
Exactly.
over the smokes.
Yeah.
They have Paranoias if they haven't used it for the takes. It comes down to how they work the map once again here on the attack. Sentinels might have to try to change things a little bit here as they have a gun round to come through.
Yeah, I wonder
that's
if,
going to for them to try to control something.
I wonder if they, as Sentinels, try a trap play right away. Go for
with
their
better
own.
guns than this.
With better guns than this, yeah. Because it would be good against Loud. If Loud were to go slow on a round, might be this. Thinking the low buy is going to create a tough entry into the site. 4 towards A for Loud, heavy side as well for Sentinels, strong side rather. Looks like up and over flash by Dizzy. No, I don't think they've thrown anything yet.
Heard a flash coming out from Zelsis just to delay a bit, though. Big Paranoia.
Fast again.
Yeah, Boombuds that can satchels away. Tens trying to swing back out just to try to catch QCK off guard. A knife is going to delay that utility that would allow for Loud to gain that momentum, gain that space that it gained towards the elbow. As Sentinels wants to fight back, the aggression comes through. Kyusuke still on the top. A stinger close range, a second close to Celsius. For the classic, hot hands on the ground. Finally, Tens takes him down. And all the rest of Loud falls as Tui's was looking for that lurk. And Sentinels, they fight back on their gun round.
They realize it's going to be chaos. Sen answered just as hard and weird and fast right there as Loud is trying to hit that elbow spot. Also take a little pawn control. And it is taking control to kind of organize this mess that's going on. The nades that are being thrown. That first nade allowed this long peek to come through. With QCK there, they knew they needed to get him out of the situation, unroot him. It just caused the push. Sentinels is there with numbers because they did choose the right site, expecting Loud to hit A.
Besides, sometimes at some point those paint shells went down there from Zekin and QCK somehow still stood alive. So.
You jump up on the box as fast as possible.
It's definitely difficult there for Sentinels to try to regain the elbow side, but they did. Power numbers. Now we have a tech pause coming out here, but it's quick, you know? Didn't even have a chance to talk about it.
Wow.
That's even better.
All right, cool. I'll take that.
Any day now. And
They're
Loud,
just making sure tech pause works, right? Tech pause to tech pause. Go ahead.
at least Loud right now still has this run it back here that they could use. They're adding that pressure on this A side to start. Even trying to see if there's going to be a push from Sentinels down towards the middle for a B link control. Sentinels on their end, though, they're looking for, once again, the first contact towards the front. Zelsis with the support and the flashes on the back of the dumpster. So they could fight back. That's all they want to do so far. When they spray it across, they didn't hear anybody from Loud shooting back. So they might be able to start to pivot back and work towards the B side. How about John Cutie?
This is the first time that we'll see Loud start to use this wall here that kind of helps them get an entrance, mostly for QCK and Kawanzin to flash through. Then they can enter through their own wall. And they have to make Sentinels worry. Thrash comes flying out from the south side to check mid control, grabs one market, and here it comes.
Satchel in, Jusuke still alive, coming back, but his teammates detained, cannot really help yet. Moshpit comes down, the timing of the one, Celsius gets the headshot. Ten's ready for a Paranora, let's it rip. But the rest of Loud made it through towards the B site nonetheless. They gave up on that control towards the market. The plant coming down here for Karanzine, hit by flashes all over for Loud, as Sentinels are still held back on the outside by middle and B main. There's that fight, the contact. Oh my God! It's all around! Leaving out less alone on the 1 versus 4. Positioned now towards the spike. As at least the Thrash does not spot him. Now back and forth we go, and Zelsis gets another backstab. Tens is ready to come out strong in his grand finals as well.
It's been an incredible year for Ten so far. We see him go from aggressive duelist over to smoke. Himself saying the consistency it brings to his play is unreal. And looking at how that works, if we think about Tens, he's been on agents that can get out of a situation, but you know where that dash goes. You know where he might be playing. Now he can reset on an Omen. He can audio cut and rat a little bit more. He has so many more options here, and he looks so happy to be playing the new role.
Yeah, it's insane too. Yeah, the questions that came out of Tens' role of like, oh, and he's not able to play a raise too well on split, or he should play a KO because it's like his play style from the other games. But this time as an Omen, he's shining.
His stats this year on average on the Yoru, the Omen, way better than his Jets KOs from last year. Kind of incredible that he's able to put up these numbers still. You see how comfortable he is.
We're not over yet here. 3 rounds away of getting the first map for Sentinels as Louder looking for the contact play. Speaking of Tens, he opens up the round. Kyusuke falls, a tap on the spike, baiting out the players of Sentinels, trying to push towards the spawn. Are Loud. They will not meet any opposition, which allows for them to at least get a plant down to build that economy for the next. Ready with the shorty in the smoke. Snakebite keeps them at bay. But all of Sentinels are here, getting ready to flood back from that A-Link once again. And there he goes. Look at that utility. Everybody's hiding within the smoke, though, for Loud outside the site.
Okay.
Straight off for kills, and there's only less than Tui's left.
Player standing.
And Zekin himself is cleaning up the site. Showstopper ready for the next round as Sentinels scored the 11th.
It kind of took Sentinels just fighting back as fast. That, I think the mid-round where we saw Zekin fly through, that tells you how fast Sentinels want to be going right now. And Loud are going to be calling the timeout here. Boom. Tens playing the smokes.
Remaining.
Frags all around for the team. It's not just kind of the 3Ks from 10s. You're seeing the refrags, the trades. Sentinels is a well-oiled machine right now, and it looks like they could close this one out. They get a timeout as well off allowed, so Kaplan's going to be able to talk to the team to help solidify these last few ultimates. A rolling thunder from Colin here. That can be denied if they throw that, and Zelsis is there to null command down. How's the rest of that site take hit? It just seems like Sen has answers to the ults ready for Loud, so it is going to take the Sadak Masterclass here. It's going to take this timeout to close these 5 rounds and bring us back to a tied game for sure.
That's the important call there. What Sadak could really pull out of this timeout. The last one that they have on this map of Sunset. And where Sentinels, when we were watching how that history of the first half went through, for them to score that many rounds on the attack puts them in a comfortable position on their strong retake play style. And Loud has to find a way to answer that back. How do you fight back towards the spawn? They tried to play further back towards the A site and fight through after the initial utility that's being thrown on a defense for Sentinels. They're also alone in these forward positions after. They're not really able to set up for trades. This time around, though, looks like Loud is just holding back for a mid-control.
Their weight looks like this. 0 point's going to come over the top. You can see Zelsis' positioning. And Loud get too caught in that. Looked purposeful as well. They kind of stood exactly where they wanted to. So Viper and Breach, seen on the right side of the map, is what Sentinels is working with right now. Again, this wall, only 2 times since this wall was put up from Loud have they tried to work through it. Last market we saw, Zekin came flying through with a showstopper. But now they're giving QCK quite a task here.
Yeah, you already see QCK working up the mid of the map. The L drone comes out towards the right side, but the important thing here is Kalzine taking control of this B lane. They try to use this rolling thunder to hold towards the left side or flash towards the dumpster, but instead, after it sees nothing on the elbow side, they regroup and try to go for the contact play.
Looking at Sadak. Sonar up. Drone has been used. Again, they're really liking this elbow play. At least putting 3 or 4 members in there. They have to get Kalzine in there because the fault lines from that side just seem so much more effective.
Even
to
a rolling
the entry, the rolling thunder, to boot. Right, so having Kalzine in this elbow has been a priority for Loud. They set it up again,
30 seconds
and
left.
It's going to be the 5v5. A good lurk here, however, from Tuis could just separate Sentinel's rotation.
Feels like Loud seeing here that Sentinels like to play the retake, to just contact in the site, allowing this utility to delay even more.
There it is.
And as he throws out the rolling thunder off the knife, QCK is pushing forward. Just around the corner, though, Zelsis pulls out the null command. Zekin holding all the way back towards that Boba side, where we have a late lurk from Tui, still waiting for that opportunity to strike back behind them. But Sentinels are now running very quickly towards the A site. Showstopper to open it up. It's Planet once again for the elbow spam. Wingmen on the ground. Kalzine trying to delay as he runs forward with utility. Gets denied. Sadak, though, on the other side. There's that backstab. Tuis trying to go for the hero play. There's that first kill. It's tapped at half. There's no time. 10 gets the kill. But it's Loud that stays alive.
Tui's the lurk king on that one. Absolutely pivotal that Tui stayed alive and was able to get a huge kill on John QT there, causing that defensive rotation to have to route around through spawn, take a little bit more time. Everything that Loud did there really hurt Sentinels. Sen tried to paranoia retake pawn shop into the dumpster there, and it didn't really hit anybody. They tried to retake flash on dumpster, and all of what they needed for sight was already used by the time Sentinels got there. Loud really draining Sentinels' utility in a way they cannot retake. See what happens here. Spread out across the map in a default. Same wall here. Loud's just kind of pressuring with this each round to give Sentinels something to look at, and then possibly play through it with their flashes.
Saw 2 sets of footsteps there off that camera from John Cutie. And look at Sentinels, a flash over and a swing after, a quad swing coming out, and that's just being held back. Even Paranoia to try to move forward. Kalzine's all the way back towards middle. Instead, a spray through the blaze wall to get that kill on the market. He's laughing. Sadak's just like, oh, that was a pretty hot situation. As they pull back, though, with the numbers advantage. 5 players to work together towards the A side, but Sentinel has the read on this. Never mind, it's a double pump. because of the position
All
we
the
have
way
in
back.
Tweez all the way towards the B main.
Okay, so I feel like we have been missing this from Loud in these few rounds. The past rounds, it would be that they tempted B main, they were a little bit in mid, right? QCK would flash, and then everybody just reset to a default spot to hit A.
30 seconds
Loud
left.
have not been leaving breadcrumbs around the map to be able to make audio calls on a rotation or be able to make that re-rotate. And now we're seeing that come into play. Those audibles we know Sadak for in the middle to late round.
Zelzataki snuck through, but KCK was still holding towards the billboard of the B main. A knife being thrown that would have been huge towards that B main site where they don't have the fault line aftershock to work with, or snake bites, as a matter of fact. Even QCK's re-flanking towards the mid side. But Sentinel's already pushing forward, spraying through the attacker smoke. Snake bite on the ground. There's that backstab. Too good for QCK.
Wow. What a swingy game. A few rounds here, a few rounds there, but the way the rounds are swinging, that team is in full control. Oh, yeah, that was close. We'll see it again. Hey, guy. He's like, I'm not KO ulted right now. You can't do that. I'm not going to be rezzed. QCK with a really nice flank. And that's been working so well now for Loud that they can continuously move from site to site, or the last few rounds, I should say, not for the map. They've only employed it here. So Sen calls a timeout. We got this in the first half out of Kaplan, and Sentinels were able to really come back with a pretty strong round. See what kind of ideas they can muster up during this one. Ultimate for John Cutie and Tens, kind of passive ults. Really need to make something work to get those in action. But Sadak, do we see this off the rip, or does it become a post-plant? They have been focusing from the defensive side. Loud has that Hunter's Fury controls the map. It gets them an idea right away off a drone or a sonar bolt tag. But likely here to see it as they hit the site and try to clear one of those defensive positions Sen will be covering.
And that's the thing. Loud, again, they were able to play contact in the sites and use the ults on post plants instead and not having to waste them. Yes, we heard some Hunter's Fury, but those were trap plays that they had on defense. This time around, though, if they could continue to work the same way, I mean, for them, they don't need to fix anything because they're coming back in this game.
Yeah.
For Sentinels, the question is, how do we want to fight this? Do we want to move more forward here to not allow Loud to play the contact? It looks for information towards this mid side.
Fake TP to B main, but the push is huge here from Sen. They're trying to change the pace of the game of what Loud has been seeing the last few rounds, feeling in control. Sen trying to take that away. Passive play from Loud gets them safely across the map here, but this is what they were doing before. Not really tempting or leaving anybody at a site, just making some noise mid, and then they're going to hit A.
This could be basic things too, from Sentinels holding towards the back of the side with John's Cutie set up on the A, just to maybe try to break a windman with his trips inside the A site. Run it back here, utilized by QCK just to clear out the space towards the dumpster. The plant still comes down. A lucky kill onto Cowanzine. Throws up the hat, but the plant still went down for Loud.
That's huge. Cowanzine's the one they want, an elbow. For him to go down, this means that Sen can get back in.
Right now, the goal is to protect Sadak so that he could use his Hunter's Fury. There's that tap, uses it out right away. And now right after, it's going to be for Loud to fight back inside the smoke. Flashes are coming through. Nades are coming across towards the smokes as Tens is holding off angle. A curveball turned. A nice kill from Tens. Snake bites on the ground as well. Wingman comes up trying to get it down. It's at least at halfway. He's trying to stick it fully for Wingman, but gets denied. It's up to a 2 versus 1. A push forward from Blitz once again. Denied by John Cutie as they'll get the defuse and match point.
Round 12 for Sentinels.
Match point.
Tens again. I'm pretty sure Sideshow mentioned it previously, but that flash turning percentage, Tens being at the top. The least flashed member, we see it in action. And John Cutie, that
West
kill.
Flash and didn't care.
Oh, West still actually got tagged by it. Never mind. Good POV. Good POV. It just doesn't matter with Tens. Yeah, but Cowanzine, that kill from John Cutie on a Cowanzine, you saw how confident Sentinels was to step forward there and go for the hit. What a kill to be able to pull up. Sheriffs now for the side of Loud. What a hurt on game point now, as they're going to try to get QCK up this mid position again. A little rinse and repeat on the strats before, but it brings most of the team to keep him safe.
QCK with the Sheriff, the double swinging out the wall bang, forcing Zelsis away. Trying to take the mid-control, even shock darts thrown from Sadak to keep him back. Sentinels trying to push forward. It was being watched by Les, so you have 3 players now contained in the A site. That said, though, with the amount of rounds that were coming back there for Loud, that one single loss now map point for Sentinels. The economy's broken for Loud. They have to try to get something done here. Controlling maybe an orb on the B site, a Viper plant off the pit, using his owl drone to sell that fake with this. As we have the backstab though for QCK. It's perfect. But finally, John comes out of the camera to trade that out. They get information on that Sentinel player towards the back of the site. And they try to execute now for Sentinels. A tap to allow Cowden to swing out instant
30
headshot.
seconds left.
Still not deciding to go for the plan for less. They want to use it for Kawadzin. It's been the name of the game so far on how they're forming the arbs in the plant. Sentinels now trying to go for a 3-player retake at a disadvantage. Look how far back here Sadak is. Still waiting to see somebody's going to flank across. Delays being thrown early for Loud. A flash towards the market. First contact is less. Kawadzin avoided the mosh pit. Now swings out, hit by at least the fragment. Plant denied. A push forward from Tui's. Zelsis is alone. And it becomes a nice post-plant hold for Loud.
That actually is one of the coolest rounds I've seen Sadak come up with. When they were running back to A, you saw Sadak instantly peel off. It's like a light bulb went off in his head, peels off, and then sets up to quickly set the drone. It looked like they were actually running all the way back. Says, okay, Tui's, give me that ult back here. They do a global distraction to allow QCK's hit to work even better. Sick thinking. Absolutely disgusting.
And we said, just Sheriffs?
Just Sheriffs?
It was the 2 first kills they got.
Honestly.
QCK and Kawadzin with Sheriffs to make it.
Making the crowd ill.
Yep.
Making the crowd ill.
Maybe he'll never smile again.
9 to 12. Pop flash towards mid, possibly.
Definitely.
Yep, pop
even
flash
satchels out from Zekin. And a paranoia on top of that came from 10, so try to do a trap play with the lower buy that they have on the defense for Sentinels. But again, it's the masterclass IGLing calls from Sadak, holding all the way back towards spawn.
It's wild.
Even towards the extremities.
Just wild. All right, into the site here. Just 3 rounds away for Loud to secure us our OT. It's going to be a low buy from Sen. Back in the site, they're going to hunker down and try to find those close angles. It's how can Loud dislodge them. Ultimate for Kawadzin could come around. That's the ultimate plant. If they can keep Kawadzin, then it can elbow without some John Cutie spam.
Easy one there for Zelsis.
Ooh, they lost the breadcrumb. That's what they were leaving this time. Sadak goes down.
And they have to make noise now. This is all going to be heard by Tens, but Tens only has a Sheriff in the back of the A site. Sassy with a pistol himself, so this is a very weak A site hold. A flank coming behind here, a flash. Tens is fully blinded. The lurk comes up from the side from Les. Yeah, Sassy gets the headshot. That's a ding from Les. 3 players remaining from Sentinels coming back once again from the A link. Tui's now takes control towards the back of the default. Gets 1 for his troubles back there. 2 versus 2. A pit out, a rolling thunder. Giving a lot of chances for Loud here on the post plant. Camera coming out, forcing now Sentinels to go inside the pit to fight back. Zelsis is low on HP, upgraded into a rifle. They actually have 2 rifles to work with. There's that first deniability to run across. Zelsis does get the pick though. And Les has 1 more stake bite.
And they have to go
whipping by him. The tap on his spike. The kill from Celsius. The defuse comes out for Sentinels as they finally close out map number 1.
It's incredible the amount of times we see Sentinels squad rush, crowd up and squad rush a site. You see it all the time on Split. Then they'll be defusing while there's still members of the opposing